Hey everyone, welcome to Average Joe Preparedness. My name's Rick, and I'm an Average Joe. As usual, we'll go over a few things. I try to squish a bunch of stuff in. However, the main topic is going to be earthquake and the earthquake that happened over in Turkey, Syria. And normalcy bias, people really aren't talking about it that much anymore. And that is the way. Yes? Which is sad, but it's a human nature. So, let's see. The last video I did, I think the casualty numbers were at 5,000. And the last time I checked, and they could have changed since I did, they're now over 11,000. So it's something serious, and there's a lot of people suffering. And so, commercial announcement, I have some information here. If you want to donate, that's up to each person, monetarily, always make sure there's always these scammers out there. And my recommendation is to go through something big, such as the Red Cross. Yes? Yes. I have no idea why people are such, I do actually, why people are so terrible and they're going to scam you for stuff, but that is the way. Now, if you want to donate things like blankets and clothes and toys for children or whatever, anything, things, not monetary, what they're recommending is, I'm looking at my notes, is to the Turkish consulates here in the United States. Now, I looked it up. There's one in almost every major city. You can take them there in person or you can mail them. You can Google which one's closer to you and you can mail it to them. And they're making arrangements for actual physical things. Like I said, like blankets and clothes and toys. So yeah, those are two ways if you feel the need, and everybody's got their own way. So either you can do it monetarily, in which case, make sure that you can, or if you want to do things that are actual items. Yes? Yes. I'm going to use this as an opportunity because it happened in real life. And that is that we should all be grateful for what we have. Yes? And to be into preparedness, emergency preparedness, and work your way up. This is one of those contingencies that you would work for, because earthquakes, again, I talked about it before, earthquakes can happen anywhere. There are predominant areas, but once again, they can pop up, and it just doesn't necessarily have to be an earthquake. However, let's say a major earthquake. If people are prepared for it, emergency preparedness, if you are right there, it may or may not do you any good. But as you work your way away from it, then that's where it would be good and helpful for you to survive it and not have to rely on others. So that way, when emergency services come, they're focusing on those people who are, say, in the epicenter of a contingency or worst case scenarios, what I'm going to start calling them, and they don't have to, it's less people that they have to help, which is less draw on those resources. Yes? Yes. Okay, for full disclosure, in my last video, I showed you I'm reaching off thing, the checklist that FEMA has, and then I made a point of the one for earthquakes. This is basic preparedness, and the one for earthquakes is basically the same. Okay, they actually have a booklet for earthquake preparedness. The point I was making was the basic stuff that you need is the same. However, for full disclosure, I went ahead and printed out the booklet that they have. This isn't even all the pages about what FEMA has for earthquake preparedness. Now, we're going to go over this real fast. If you guys want to fast forward through it or click through it, I hope you don't. I mean, there's that little thing that you can do. I think it's over here, and you can make the video go faster. And I start talking like I'm on helium and I have a balloon, but you may still get the information. Yes? But I think this is pertinent. I don't know what you guys are thinking about this, because this actually happened. Now, in case you're wondering, I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm just going to go through some highlights. Yes, so hopefully you'll stick with me. We'll see. Yes, readers. It's the way. Because there are a few things I wanted to point out. One of the first things it talks about is, because you don't know when or where an earthquake is going to occur, that you should have your disaster supply kit, which is what they're referring to here for earthquakes, in either your home, your workplace, or your car. Now, as people who are into preparedness talk about, it's good to have a 72-hour kit in your home, but then it talks about in your car, and we have emergency kits. We talk about emergency kits in the car and maybe having a get home bag there, and also in your office. And that's another place where people keep their get home bags or other emergency things. So just wanted to point that out, that if you have these things, you're not like, oh my gosh, crazy person. This is FEMA. This is the government. This is what they're recommending. Yes? Yes. Now, going over some of the specifics, this should sound familiar, such as food, flashlights, water purification, portable battery-powered radios, or the hand crank kind, you know what I'm talking about, first aid kits, fire extinguishers. We did a video on that not that long ago. If you have special needs, people for medication, people who are disabled or old or young, some basic tools, important papers, cash, clothings that are specific, and pet needs if you have them. Yes, so far this is what I was getting at, is this is basic preparedness. This is what they're recommending for earthquake preparedness. Yes? Yes. Now, some specific things that aren't just for earthquakes, they're for any worst case scenario, and that is, do you know how to turn off, and this is a good question, do you know how to turn the gas off if you need to your house? Do you know how to turn off the water main line to your house? Do you know how to go down to your breaker and shut the electricity off, or outside, if you have one outside, to shut off all the power to your house in case there's damage, there's electrical wires exposed, or there's a gas leak, or there's a water leak? And then it talks about doing an earthquake hazard hunt, where you go around your house and you look for things that could fall over or fall on top of somebody, or this is going to fall and hit something else. A case in point would be water heaters. A lot of water heaters, the code is you have to have these straps around your water heater to keep them from falling over. You guys following me? I hope so. Then it goes over some other things that are more specific to an earthquake. And that would be to do earthquake drills, the same as you would do fire drills, like how to escape from your house, where to be, where you are, how to protect yourself, such as getting under tables, if you're driving, if you're outside, if you're in a car, obvious things like don't go across bridges, if you're on public transportation, if you're trapped under debris. So these are very specific to earthquakes, what their recommendations are. Now, again, basic preparedness. Don't need these now. Basic preparedness. I hope you saw, we just went over the checklist that was very specific for earthquakes, and there are some things that are different, i.e., excuse me, turning off your power, turning off your gas, turning off your water. But the supplies needed were the very same ones that are needed for basic preparedness. Yes? Yes. Okay, a couple more things, and then we're going to call this video done. I'm turning my back to the camera. Sorry, guys. So, first one on my list is I talked about I was going to get the shingles vaccine. And this is about basic taking care of yourself, medical, making sure you're immunized. Everybody's got their own opinion, guys. So that's up to you. But if I'm not mistaken, I let you know that the doc said it was going to beat you up potentially. So make sure you took it on a Friday. Whoa. Let me tell you what, it wasn't 2 days, it was one. Saturday. Oh, my arm felt like it was this big and I had aches and pains and it was pretty rough. So, but then Sunday I was good to go. But all day Saturday I was not happy. I was annoyed. You know how it is when, or maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. But yeah, when your body ached and I wasn't in a good mood. So just to info you, it was valid information. I don't know what's going to happen to you if you decide to get it. Again, I'm not telling people what to do. You might want to get it on a Friday or keep the next day clear. Yes? Yes. And then I had mentioned in getting things better in the good enough portion that I have a belt, that I got a belt. So I wanted to make sure I was clear on that. I have gotten belts. I always have belts. Most people do, I think. I don't know if I'm the only one. But I've been purchasing over the years. I purchase like those $12 belts or $8 belts if they're on sale at like Walmart. You with me? And I usually have two because it doesn't matter. Because they break and then they're worthless. So again, now I have a belt and it cost a bit. So an average belt lasts me maybe a year. And this one costs like 3 or 4 times that much. So we're going to see if this thing works. So somebody out there remind me if I'm still making videos in like 3 years. Somebody say, hey, how's that belt working out for you? And we'll see how that goes. But I wanted to be clear. Yes, I have belts, but that's the reason why I got one. One of these, I'm upgrading. It's supposed to last me forever. Yes? Yes. I just wanted to reiterate on the get what you can, and then as you can, move up. Hopefully that makes sense. And then one more thing. I talked about how this world is trying to kill us. Technically, it's the universe, but this is just the way. It's just the world. This is what we were born into. This is where we live. And I talked about lots of things happen, and you don't necessarily don't let it panic you, or don't let it get negative or scare you, because then you constantly need that to be motivated. You should just basically be motivated to prepare and take care of yourself. So, and I have another demonstration on, I believe it was January 20th. I saw the thing for it. And it was the sun. It released 1 trillion tons of plasma. And the article, the story was in a Science Digest magazine. And it didn't hit us. You see what I'm saying? And if it had, it would have been catastrophic. I don't know if it was even in the news. I don't know if people are actually paying attention, because it happens and it goes this way and that way and this way and that way. And we're just like one little thing. Unless and we go around in this flat earth, I'm not even getting into that. But the point being is 1 trillion tons of plasma. You guys can Google if you want how bad it would have been, but it would have been fairly terrible. But it happened, and nobody knew, or only a few people did. This is what happens every day in this world. You can't get focused on, oh my God, oh my God. Let me rephrase. I'm recommending you don't get focused on, oh my God, oh my God. It's not gonna, you can't live a happy life. These things happen. Start with basic preparedness, work your way up. You do what you can. Yes? Yes. Okay, so I went yesterday and got the stuff for, I told you guys I was gonna work on my water heater. I got the blanket, and I got the little foamy insulation. It looks like literally small, what are they, pool noodles or whatever, that I'm gonna put around the piping. And I got me some spray foam insulation. I'm gonna, a couple places down in the basement, I'm gonna seal those up to, again, try to save resources, because I have to pay for those resources. Yes, and everything's limited. Taking care of myself, I guess I could hire somebody to come do it, but again, I have, what is it, YouTube University. We'll see how it goes. I don't know when this is going to happen, but as I told you in the video, I'll let you guys know. So with that, I hope this finds you well. I hope you are happy. I hope you are staying positive, and I hope you are all being prepared.